my clinical experience, research experience on a paper we undertook at Nehru Ambedkar Medical College. I'll just start with. I hope I've been able to share screen as well.
Absolutely, please go ahead.
Thank you. So today I'm going to talk about an observational study that we conducted at Nehru Ambedkar Medical College, which happened to be a COVID health center during the peak of COVID epidemic. The study was undertaken on the patients who were admitted in this hospital, and it was a retrospective cohort study that we took up, analyzing the clinical characteristics, and we processed the genetic profile of patients. And the good news is that we were able to reproduce this paper, publish this paper in the peer-reviewed journal Homeopathy, which accepted and published this paper. Now, before we go to the details of the study, the idea of this observation study was systematic characterization of the clinical presentation of COVID-19 in Indian patients through a retrospective cohort study on laboratory confirmed symptomatic patients. As I said, we undertook the study on the patients who were admitted in the hospital with the RT-PCR confirmed report. And once they were admitted, we undertook the symptomatological profile. On the basis of the symptomatological profile, we concluded on the probable homeopathic medicines that could be shortlisted for further scientific research. Now, this was a kind of a unicentric collaborative study because along with the Nehru Ambedkar Medical College, this was done along the Center of Computational Biology and Bioinformatics, Amity University, also helped us in the collaborating and curating of data. This study was, as I said, being a unicentric under the guidance of our director, sir, Dr. Manjanda. We had a team of doctors from our own hospital as well as from another one Malta hospital for a collaborative processing of data. As per the norms, we have taken the ethical clearance. Just to briefly highlight the objectives of the study, as I already said, the motive of the study was to identify the most probable indicated homeopathic remedies on the basis of clinical characteristics of admitted patients. And the secondary objective, because this was the stepping stone to the more important objective of conducting randomized controlled trials. So what we primarily were looking for was to analyze the group of medicines that would be put to RCT in the future research. And this was a retrospective study of cohort confirmed patients who were admitted at our hospital between 29th April and June 17th. The patients were categorized into mild, moderate, and severe categories depending upon the WHO guidelines. And we had prepared a case record performer in which the symptomatology according to the WHO guidelines was supposed to be filled, and the data was to be analyzed accordingly. The sample size that we had was of 196 patients. Of the majority were the mild symptom patients. Few were 18 patients were moderate, and we did not manage the severe patients because we did not have the tertiary care facilities. The data collection, as I said, was done on a standardized patient case record form, which is used for case taking. We basically made this form on the basis of the WHO module form, which is available, as well as we did our own modifications according to the homeopathic symptomatology. The symptoms of COVID were identified and the severity of disease was graded. The variables which were basically analyzed during the study were the demographic and the clinical variables. And this case record form was analyzed retrospectively, and the common and the characteristic patients were taken for the analysis. While doing data collection, we ensured the basic protocols of observation study. We ensured informed consent of the patient. The data was anonymized because we had to maintain confidentiality. The data recording was done, as I said, in the given performer for the demographic data, clinical characteristics, the laboratory data which were available with us, the treatment programs, as well as the outcome measures were all captured in the medical records. The information was periodically reviewed. We used to have a regular review meeting in which all the data was curated, and accordingly, if there was some unnecessary data, it was accordingly removed so that there would not be any observation bias. Now, the most important part of the whole thing, what did the study conclude? The one important finding, because this was done when we were looking at the initial part of the pandemic. So one important finding that we got from this observation study was that when it came to mild form of COVID, it was the younger age group, which was a mean age of approximately 38.6 years, while when it was for the moderate category, the older age group was more primarily involved, and the mean age group was 66, around 66 years. So this was important demographic data, and as well as we all also have been reading about, the gender predominance was male, with majority of patients being one male, 142 of them. The data analysis from the clinical point of view, we identified when we collated all the data, we found the most important symptomatology were fever, cough, and sore throat in their order of preponderance. And of the fever, the most common variety was the low grade fever, which was kind of and chills and primarily with chills. And of the nature of cough, we found the equal proportion of both productive and dry cough in the population that we sampled. The predominance was heat shake, right? Not chills, but predominant heat shake, and the cough was both productive as well as dry. According to the clinical profile that emerged, the symptomatological profile that we emerged, we were able to prescribe 20 remedies of the combined clinical profile, and of these, the most frequently prescribed were Bryonia alba, arsenic album, pulsatilla, Nux vomica, Rustox, plus Toxicodendron, and Gelsemium. The important thing is, around that time we had got hold of the research paper that had been published from Hong Kong, in which they had kind of prepared a repertorial analysis for each of the remedies, the indication which were coming up in COVID, in pertaining to the symptoms of COVID. So we use the same logic, and on the basis of that process, we were able to identify the clinical characteristics of these 6 remedies, that is Bryonia alba, arsenic, and so on and so forth. And we could prepare a kind of a repertorial totality of COVID pertaining to each of these remedies. Just for the purpose of representation, I have given the example of Bryonia, and this we did for all 6 remedies which were more commonly prescribed in the order of their occurrence. As this was a preliminary study, it was an observational study which was meant to collate further data for RCTs. Our findings were that the most common remedies were Bryonia, arsenic, pulsatilla, Nux vomica, Rustox, and Gelsemium. And what we want, on the basis of this pilot study, we basically analyze further for the randomized controlled trials. Since we also had certain studies already coming up related to COVID around that time, we compared our data with the international data sets, and we found that both the demographic as well as the clinical parameters were almost the same, except that in our study we found a greater prevalence of sore throat in our study vis-a-vis the clinical data which is available in other countries. And the remedies, as far as the remedy analysis was concerned, in our data compared to the international data, the Nux vomica and Toxicodendron were comparatively prescribed more frequently as compared to what in the papers published from other countries. As I already said, it was as per the SOPs that had been given by the government at that particular point of time. We were also giving conventional drugs as per the requirement of the patients. So, and since the intervention was of both homeopathic and allopathic, so we could not assess, we could not have an outcome assessment of homeopathic medicines. There was no control arm because there was no control placebo group that had been framed for this. And we had, being a primary care center, we had very limited laboratory and radiological support for the research study. For the guidelines, we refer to the stroke guideline. The literature we reviewed, whatever literature was available at that point of time in the peer-reviewed journals, we try to collate it and compare with it. And the data collection, as per the norms for ethical confidential, we try to make it as accurate and complete as possible. And this was the study which was published in Homeopathy, which was finally accepted on 11th September 2020. And what our learning from this particular research study was that in homeopathy, one of the major lacunas or one of the major drawbacks we can say is the need for a very critical evaluation of data. As Dr. Sankaran already pointed out, is that if we want to make homeopathy stand as an evidence-based medicine on a scientific and a scientific validated platform, it is very important that we critically analyze the data which is available to us and curate it to the scientifically accepted norms, so that we can shortlist, specifically for the current pandemic, we can shortlist the homeopathic medicines, which would then be the next step for the systematic validation. Just because the Directorate of Ayush has been taking keen interest on validating the different medicines for the purpose of COVID, there was another research study which was taken up under the Directorate of Ayush. I think this was a multi-center study. It was a unicentric study. This was a multi-center study where different dispensaries collated the data for the observation of the clinical profile, the symptomatological profile of COVID, and they brought in a further scientific aspect to it in the form of prognostic factor research, or what we call as the likelihood ratio, which is based on the Bayes theorem. This article has also been accepted for publication, and this was basically, as I said, being a multi-centric study and with the involvement of more number of physicians, the observational bias was further trimmed down, improved through the calculation of likelihood ratio. And going further, as we have been, as the Directorate under Dr. Manjanda has been working upon collating more finer and finer curated data, one important aspect that we found was invariably the bias would creep up, specifically the observational bias, the prescribing bias. So keeping that in mind, this was a larger sample size study which was taken into hospitals of Delhi government, in which the threadbare it was discussed that what could be the impact of bias in data collection in COVID-19 cases. This is all the data for the draft for this also has been submitted, and this is in the process of being published. One important thing that which surely, as Dr. Sankaran also has already highlighted, is we need to ensure that the outcome parameters, the scientific research parameters are brought more and more into the study of homeopathic cases, so that we are able to stand shoulder to shoulder with our allopathic conventional physicians. So I'll thank you all for this, for your patient listening, and I'm open if there's any questions, or we can take it at the end of the session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vipin.